June 18. Pretty interesting morning. Went downstairs. Mom and Dad were very quiet. I knew I should have left them alone, but I couldn't help it. I asked them what they were talking about last night. Dad stared at Mom. Both of them stared at me, then back at each other. Obviously, they didn't want to tell me, so I said never mind. Where's Janice? She's so useless. Mom asked if I wanted to go into town with her. She said it would be a little later, so I told her I wanted to go for a walk first. Went to my room, and for the life of me, I could not find Cammie's locket. I didn't want to be in trouble with her, but it was gone. I waited at the lake forever. I didn't think Cammie was going to show up, but she finally did. I didn't mention the locket. Thankfully, neither did she. Cammie and I spoke about the lake and how beautiful it was. We held hands until it was time for me to leave. I didn't want to. I was hoping Mom would leave without me, but Cammie said I should go. She smiled and then ran into the woods. I didn't even get a hug. I don't know why I decided to follow her, but I did. It was difficult, but I managed to keep up with her. Once the woods got really dense, I thought maybe I made the wrong decision. I stepped out of the woods and into a clearing. There wasn't anyone around, but it felt like a million eyes were on me. I got so freaked out, I scanned every inch of the woods. All around me, I heard footsteps. I thought I saw shadows running through the trees. It was weird. They didn't look like they were coming after me, but running away from me. All of a sudden, I felt sad and nervous. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't go after Cammie. I wanted to go home. As I turned to leave, I bumped into someone. I don't know who he was, but he was mean looking. I couldn't see his face because it was covered by a large black hat. The large brim went all around and was tilted over his face. He was short and fat, but he stood with his shoulders forward. He also wore a large trench coat. It was really dirty, like he was rolling around in the mud. Before I could run, he said, "Welcome." I took off and ran as fast as I could. It wasn't until I got home that I realized he was saying hi. It dawned on me that maybe he was Cammie's dad. I felt so stupid. He must have thought I was rude. To top things off, Mom left without me. More whispering tonight. I'm either tired or dreaming. I got out of bed and opened the door. The hallway was dark and I didn't see anyone. June 19. What a surprise. I don't remember falling asleep last night. I remember closing the door and listening to see if the whispers came back. I don't know how I ended up in bed. Passed Mom and Dad on the way downstairs. I brought up the whispers. Mom looked nervous but laughed that Dad snored so loud she could never hear anyone whisper, or yell for that matter. Dad grunted and walked off. Mom chuckled and said, "Don't worry about him." As she was about to leave, I asked about Janice. She said she was still asleep. While I love Cammie's company, sometimes it's nice to be alone. I could stare at the water forever. As soon as Cammie sat down, I asked about her dad. She didn't say much, so I told her I felt bad for running off when he said hi. Cammie laughed and told me not to worry. It would all work out in the end. I felt so much better. Before Cammie left, I told her I wanted to meet her mom as well. I promised I wouldn't be rude. Cammie laughed, of course. God, I love her laugh. I asked Cammie if she would like to meet my parents. She smiled, but never answered. Cammie gave me a kiss on the cheek before she left. I thought about following her, but decided not to. On the way home, I thought about having Cammie's family over for dinner. I was going to tell Mom and Dad about my idea, but they seemed preoccupied with something. I wish I knew what. They looked very serious. When I sit perfectly still, I can make out two voices, a man and a woman. She's crying, and it sounds like he's trying to comfort her. They don't sound like Mom or Dad. I'm scared to open the door. But what if he hit her? Should I open the door? June 20. After the rough night last night, I was afraid to go downstairs. I didn't want to see Mom trying to cover up her bruises and Dad acting like nothing was wrong. I found them in the kitchen talking over coffee. I still moved around carefully. I didn't say anything, just mostly watched Mom. I grabbed a few snacks, then Dad blocked me. I was scared, but I didn't want to show it. Dad told me he heard the whispers and wanted to know what Janice and me were talking about. That kind of freaked me out, since I thought it was him and Mom. Then Dad said he heard us say he was back. Dad asked me who is he. I had no clue. Mom shrugged it off and said maybe Dad's headaches were messing with his head. My mind went crazy on me. Was there someone else in the house? Was he behind the locked door? The phone did ring. I asked Mom about the door. She said she thought it led to the basement, but wasn't sure. Cammie didn't show up today. Staring at the water only helped me think more and more about the basement and how to get in. I wish my dad never said anything about someone being here. I can't sleep because I'm terrified. My lamp is on and I'm staring at the door. I feel like I'm waiting for the boogeyman. Do I really want to see what I'm waiting for? 4 a.m. I just woke up from the strangest dream. I was walking down a mountain road. It was dark, but I could still see. As I walked, I kept wandering off the road and onto the dirt. I'd never seen the road before, so I don't know which way I was walking. As I continued on, I saw Grandma Irene standing off to the side. I tried to approach her, but she waved me off. I ignored her and kept walking towards her. She yelled at me, "The devil wants you." I woke up right after. The first thing that came to my mind was when Mom once said, "If you dream of a dead person talking to you, it means they really are." Someone just knocked. It's faint, but there it is again. Whisper, the light's on. Stupid. I saw the light go on, so I opened the door. The hallway was dark, but there was a light on downstairs. When I got to the bottom of the steps, the basement door was open. I came right back up and put a chair against the door. Daylight should be soon. June 21. When I went down for breakfast, I saw that Mom and Dad were still in bed. Their door was open, so I waved. Mom waved back, but Dad looked like he was thinking about something. I heard Dad say he had a weird night. I pretended to leave, but stood against the wall instead. Dad said a man shook him awake. He had no idea who the man was because he had never seen him before. At first, Dad thought it was a burglar. The man was shaking Dad hard. When my dad sat up, the man let go and stepped back. He begged my dad for help. Dad asked him what he needed, but the man never answered. He just kept saying help. My dad saw a woman crying in the corner, so he turned on the light. There was no one there. I went down the stairs slowly. I was terrified, but the basement door was closed. I don't know why, but I turned the knob, It was locked. What a relief. Maybe everything last night was just a realistic dream. The lake was nice. Cammy never showed. I know she's probably just busy, but the paranoid part of me wonders if she's okay. Deep down, I know she is. I think the strange night is just putting me on edge. I miss her and can't wait to see her. About to drive into town. Maybe. Didn't have anything to do, so I'm going to go with her. That is, if she can find the keys. It must be the look in my eyes. She just told me I'd better not be writing about her. Of course not, Mom. I just realized this is only my second trip into town. That's probably why I got turned around. Or it could be just the way Mom drives. I tried my best to figure out where Cammy's house would be, but I couldn't find a driveway or a dirt road or anything. Not even a sidewalk. Could she live on the other side? I'll have to look again when we come back. Angelica's Emporium. Angelica, who is the owner of the small corner store, seems to be Mom's best friend. At least that's how Mom acts. I will say it's weird to see Angelica be so nice after our dining experience, but who knows? Maybe Angelica apologized to Mom, or maybe she just wants to make a sale. I hope Angelica is her name. I wasn't really listening when I was introduced. The store's kind of creepy. I don't know what it is about antiques. There's something just not right about them. There's something not right about Angelica either. Before me and Mom left, I asked her about Cammy. I know I wasn't seeing things. Angelica looked like she'd been punched in the stomach. She didn't look at me when she said she didn't know who I was talking about. I started to describe Cammy, but Angelica cut me off. I was so concerned about Angelica's reaction, I forgot to look for Cammy's house on the way home. Damn. I really hate when I worry about stupid things. I can't sleep. I can't get Angelica out of my head. What does she know about Cammy? What's she hiding? And where is Cammy? Is she okay? I knew it was dark out, but I couldn't take it. I had to get out and go for a walk. As I turned onto the main road, I decided to go in the other direction. It finally dawned on me that my walks to the lake went the other way. Since everything looks the same, I thought maybe I was really going left when I thought I was going right. Makes perfect sense. It sure was difficult to see in the dark. The whole area was pitch black. The only way I could tell where I was going was to feel where the road ended and the dirt began. It felt like I was walking a tightrope. It never dawned on me to bring a flashlight. It was probably too dark anyway. I don't know how far I got before I heard a scream. It was long and seemed to last forever. It also sounded like a woman. I wanted to run home, but I was lost. I heard the scream again, but this time I saw a small light in the distance. I stared for a second to make sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. The light was there. I had a bad case of deja vu, but knew if it was Grandma screaming, she wouldn't hurt me. I worked my way through the forest. It was weird. The trees were not as thick as I was used to. It was almost too easy to find my way down to the lake. I felt like such an idiot when I got there. The light was naturally the moon's reflection on the water. I was perfectly calm until I heard a voice. It sounded like someone praying. The dark can sure play tricks on you. I heard my name at the end and almost freaked out. It never dawned on me that it could be Cammy. I gave her a huge hug and told her how worried I was. She said she was sorry. She wasn't avoiding me like I was starting to think. It turns out she was nervous because she's starting to fall in love with me. Me. I was so excited I didn't know what to say. After I calmed down, I told her I felt the same way. Cammy took my hand and told me fate is funny sometimes. I asked Cammy if it was her screaming, and she said yes. She was screaming out of frustration and was praying for an answer regarding me. Then I felt Cammie's hand brush across the front of my pants. I thought it was by accident until she did it again. My heart has never pounded so fast. I had to stop her and step back. Cammie tried again, but I had to stop her. She got mad, but I don't want her to know I'm still... Thankfully, she believed me when I told her I was dirty and maybe we could tomorrow. Cammie kissed me and offered to walk me home. On the way, I asked if she'd like to go into town with me. Her no was so angry I got scared. Of course, now that I'm in my room with nothing to do but think, I wonder why she said no so fast.